Hello, welcome to the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Toxicology Lab. Today we're going to teach you what might be the simplest or quickest way to sample for metals and alkalinity and hardness. When we're dealing with metals, we're looking at non-filtered, also called total, which is just the raw water. Or we're going to be looking at filtered, or what's sometimes called dissolved, which is whatever would pass through a 0.45 micron filter. Now there's lots of different methods out there, and we can discuss in the comments below or at the end of this video the pros and cons of some of those methods. Everyone thinks their method is the best. I'm not giving you the best. For this project that you've been assigned, we're going to do the most rapid. And I'm going to walk you through it so that you can be doing it in your raceway or on the bank of a stream or here in the ToxLab sampling aquaria without looking at the video. So, the simplest total versus dissolved or filtered versus non-filtered is going to be total. So we're going to start with that. Everything in this method is disposable. If you're reusing any of these, you are risking cross-contaminating from the previous sample or the last time you used it. So we have a lure lock syringe, and we have a disc, a 0.45 micron filter disc. We're going to find the one that says total or not filtered, and we're going to rinse it 3 times. Everything in this method gets rinsed 3 times. In this case, we can take the stream that we're sampling from and rinse it directly. Now, this is going to represent the aquaria, the raceway, or the stream where we're sampling. This right here is going to represent the bank of the stream, or perhaps a bucket or a hazmat containment vessel of some sort. It all depends what you're sampling that day. So I'm going to rinse this 3 times, and I'm going to pour it over the cap, because the cap and the vial could have come contaminated from the factory. And even if you buy the expensive ultra pure trace cleaned, every now and then you do get a batch that could be contaminated. This has been rinsed 3 times. We're ready to now take our sample. So we're going to dunk it in the water. There's going to be a little more than 15. If you look up above the 14, there should be a little line of plastic. Kick it a little until you're down to 15 mils. You've got your sample now. So we are done with non-filtered, total, and now we're going to move to filtered, also called dissolved. And in this case, we need to filter it. We're going to take our syringe. This is how we're going to suck the water up and push it through the filter. We need to rinse the syringe 3 times, because remember, everything gets rinsed 3 times. This is allowed to touch your sample. Sorry, the stream that you're sampling. Nothing else is. Now, you can use the syringe to fill up your total, too. If you're in a tough bind and you're trying to get down into a well, syringes help to suck it up. I've now rinsed this 3 times. I'm going to take 60 mils, 50 mils, and hang on to it. Now, I'm going to take my disc filter. I'm going to try and grab it either on the lure lock itself or on the edge. But I don't want to touch the tip because my gloves might be dirty. So you can hold it like a coin, screw it on. Now, if it's hard to push, you can just back off a teeny bit. Now, we have to rinse this 3 times. Don't dunk it in there. You want to rinse it with what's in here after it's been filtered. We're going to push 15 mils if it's a big disc, or 8 mils if it, or sorry, 8 drops if it is a small disc, and that's approximately equal to rinsing this 3 times. Drops, not mils. Only need drops. Here we go. We're going to put about 5 mils, 3 to 5 mils in there. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Pour that out. Again, 3 to 5 mils in the vessel. Put the cap on. Shaky, shaky, shaky. It also helps if you rinse the cap as you're pouring it out. 3 to 5 mils. Put the cap on. This is going to be our last rinse. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Pour it out. All right, now we're going to fill this vessel to 15 milliliters. Now, if we're doing AA or ICP or ICP-MS, we're going to have you preserve this with nitric acid or some other acid, and we're going to provide it to you. you're putting in 1 drop of the acid for every 5 mils of sample. So for a 15 mil vessel like this, that's going to be 3 drips out of the vessel that we gave you, or an eyedropper. Now, if we're asking for alkalinity or hardness, you might get a vessel like this, this, or this. They're all the same, it just depends how much we need. In this case, you will not be preserving these for shipping, but you will be refrigerating them. Put them on ice. And try and not have a bubble. We're going to rinse 3 times, just like normal. Notice I'm rinsing the cap. Okay, my vessels have been rinsed. In this case, we sometimes do reuse them because we're not looking for metals. We're looking for alkalinity and hardness. We're going to take our last sample. I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to tip it upright so I get all the bubbles out of the vessel. I'm going to put my cap in upside down. When it's under the water, put it right side up. Now, under the water, I'm going to put the cap on and look. And if I did it right, there shouldn't be any bubbles, or if there are, there's only a few. It's sometimes easier to use a narrow mouth than a wide mouth. Sometimes you're sampling not in a big raceway or on the side of a bank, but rather in a piezometer, or perhaps you're trying to calibrate your diluter and get a sample from that. Really hard to fit one of these in. So you can just take a little bit of air tubing that fits on the lure lock, put it in whatever you're trying to sample, and pull out. Make sure it's new. Don't reuse any of this stuff. And now you're going to rinse this tube and this syringe 3 times. For most projects, we will be sending concentrated nitric acid, extremely pure concentrated nitric acid. Other projects may be different. Most of the time, you're going to be using 15 mil vessels. All vessels need to have nitric acid added at a rate of 1 drop per 5 mils. 15 mils, so that's going to be 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the same thing for every single vial. And when you're done, you're going to make sure the lids are on properly. 1, 2, 3. Your agency probably has safety protocols for working with concentrated acid. If it doesn't, give us a call and we'll give you some pointers. But number 1, wear lots of PPE, eye protection, lab coat, gloves. Make sure you're in a chemical fume hood, or you're outdoors with the wind at your side or to your back so you don't sniff this. There are pros and cons to every method of sampling metals. Everyone thinks their method is right. Each has its own advantage and disadvantage. In this case, we are not reusing any supplies. Although we do buy trace clean, ultra pure vessels, we've had those contaminated even from some of the top name brands in the past. So we always rinse 3 times with the water we are trying to sample. Some methods won't let you do that. They want you to use DI water or none at all. There's also lots of requirements as to what type of membrane you're going to use. We like to use nylon. You'll see what we send you when we develop the project. We could discuss at length the various differences between one project or one agency's methods and others. But that's beyond the scope of this discussion. This was just a rapid way to take metals and send it to us if you're trying to calibrate a diluter or sample at a hatchery. Thank you for your time.